frequency polygon. So here observe x1, this time taking x1, x2, x3 and so on xn with the class marks, with the class marks. So we know class marks are, so we know that class marks we can say like upper limit plus lower limit by 2, that already you learnt, right? And second one like f1, f2, f3 and so on fn are like corresponding frequencies. I'm taking these are corresponding frequencies of these class intervals, right? So by taking these like x1 comma f1 mean class marks and frequencies, right? So x2 comma f2 and so on xn comma fn, xn comma fn in the graph sheet, right? So by taking these as points on the graph sheet, if we join these consecutive points using a ruler, right? Using a ruler. So we get frequency polygon. And finally, one more point you need to remember here, that is we need to add two class intervals, two class intervals. One is like at first and other one is last. Mean two intervals with frequency 0 we need to add. Both are like frequencies as a 0, with frequencies as a 0 we need to add, then only it will become like polygon. Otherwise it will be like a curve only. By joining all these points like x1 f1 like x2 f2 and so on, you will get just a curve. But here we need to construct a frequency polygon. That's why we need to add one interval first and one interval at last. So this small thing if you remember, then drawing frequency polygon is very simple. Okay Nana? So now just one example I am giving related to this frequency polygon. So just observe here, observe the following table shows the number of diabetic patients at various age groups, right? So here age in years, right? So like given as interval form 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70 like that, right? And the number of patients also given as like 3, 6, 14, 8, 5 and 2, right? So we need to represent this data by a frequency polygon. Represent this data by using frequency polygon. So just to draw a frequency polygon, observe carefully here. We need to find class marks, right? So class mark, just class interval, whatever class intervals are given, that I am taking. That is like 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, then 60 to 70. So these are class intervals given, right? So we need class marks. That means xi values we need, right? Xi denotes class marks. So for this interval class mark is like 10 plus 20 by 2, so that gives 15, 25, 35, 45, 55 and 65. So these are class marks we got, right? And the corresponding frequencies I am taking, that is Fi is like 3, 6, 14, 8, 5, 2. So these are like given class marks and corresponding frequencies. So now to construct a frequency polygon, you observe carefully. I given already like one interval here, like first one interval we need to add, and here one more interval we need to add to get a polygon, right? Frequency mean polygon we need to add. So 70 to 80, here class size is like same, so next interval we get as 70 to 80, so xi value is we get as like 75, 75 and frequency is 0, right? In the same way here 0 to 10 I am adding one interval, so xi value is 5 and frequency is 0. So frequency we need to take 0 here and here. So remaining all thing like class marks and all will be same. So now for these values mean 5, 15, 25, 35, 45. So these values mean xi values we need to take on x axis and frequencies on y axis to get a frequency polygon. So let us start like drawing this frequency polygon. Yeah. Observe in this graph sheet, just the horizontal line we can take as x-axis, right? And the vertical line as y-axis. And what is the scale we need to take here, that you observe carefully? Scale. So on x-axis, 1 centimeter is equals to, so here up to 75 values are given. So suppose if I take like 5 units, so it is like these all are multiples of 5 only, so I am taking 5 as like 1 centimeter on x-axis. Now in the same way on y-axis we need to take frequencies. Here you observe carefully. So maximum up to 14 we are having values. So 1 centimeter is equals to, just I am taking 2 units. So almost try to take multiple of these. I mean if frequencies are like all multiples are having, you can take, but in this like 3 is not multiple of 2, then also just we can consider like this. It is like easier way, like we can take as 3 mean like between 2 and 4, exactly the middle we can take, right? So now just I am marking those numbers like here 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. And on y axis maximum 14. So just I am taking 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So up to 16 I am marking. Now mark these points, like first point is 5 comma 0. 5 comma 0 lies on x-axis, right? This is the point. Next one is like 15 comma 3. 10, 15 comma 3 is exactly like middle of 2 and 4, right? Middle of this 2 and 4 you can take here. Next, here observe 20 like 25, frequency is 6. So here one more thing you need to observe, here xi values we take on x-axis and frequencies, corresponding frequencies on y-axis, right? So 25 will give you 6, right? So this is the point. 25 we can consider, I mean 25 comma 6, 35 comma 14. So 35 comma 14, this is the point, right now. So that is the point, and then 35 comma 14 done. So 45 comma 8, 45 comma 8. So this is the point we consider. Then 55 comma 5, 55 comma 5 is exactly in between, like 4 and 6. This is the point, and 65 comma 2. This is the point, right? 75 comma 0. So this is the point. Exactly, this one lies on x-axis. So now by using a ruler, just to join each and every consecutive point, like starting from here, just to join these 2 points using scale, mean using ruler, not with freehand. Okay, so these two we need to join. Then these two, why? Because it is a polygon, so it is like these are the line segments what we are taking. So this all we can take as like line segments only. So like this we need to join, right? So this forms one frequency polygon. This we take as like frequency polygon. So polygon mean it is closed figure. That's why we taken these 2 points, right? So with x-axis it forms one polygon now, right now. So we completed in this class like histogram and frequency polygon. So I hope you understood this concept clearly, right now. So then we meet in next class. Bye now.